Hello everyone, welcome to this beginner level yoga Pilates blend class. My name is Tracy Renee Stafford and I've been teaching yoga and Pilates and other mindful movement for several decades, and I just love the combination that these two bring to be able to develop mindfulness and core strength and improve posture and balance and flexibility and body awareness. And I teach online live classes, and today I'm going to share a more compact version of that. That's all going to be done standing. So it's going to focus on balance and leg strength and flexibility of the spine. And I always want to balance giving a good flowing workout with lots of alignment cues and modifications so that you feel safe and supported. So please do listen to all the information that I'm giving you while you're moving, but also listen to your body so that you're always feeling as best you can. Okay, so let's get started. You can be standing on a mat, but you don't need it. And if balance is challenging for you, it's good to have a wall nearby, or if you want to have a chair or anything like that. So I'll get you to start off with your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart so it feels quite comfortable, and just bring your hands to your hips. And if you can bend your knees a little bit and just feel that the pelvis is going straight down. Sometimes with our posture, the pelvis is tipping back. Sometimes it's tipping forward. And so you just want to make sure that it feels like it's pointing straight down and pressing down through the feet, that there's a real connection there. And so we're going to be moving through the spine, and I want you to keep the abdominals drawn in to protect your back, because your lower back likes to bend a lot. And then to protect the neck, keeping your neck long because it can really hyperextend as well. And we're going to try to focus on bending through the rib cage. So if you can feel that we're going to be lifting the chest towards the ceiling and bending right at the bottom tip of the shoulder blades and protecting the neck and the lower back, like I say. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the legs bent, and as you press them to straight, you'll inhale as you're lifting your chest up towards the ceiling, and exhaling as you bend and return to neutral. Just doing that a few times. Inhale, keep the pelvis pointing straight down, lift the chest, and exhaling as you bend. Good, and two more. Breathing in, keeping the lower back protected, the neck long, lifting the chest, and exhaling then. So just noticing, this is the hardest part of the spine to bend. So it's going to be small, and you have to rein in the neck and the lower back that really want to move. Okay, so we're going to add on, and I'll just show you. We're going to breathe in as you lift the chest. Breathe out as you bend your knees and hinge forward through your spine. Then inhale as you stretch the legs up. They don't need to straighten, but really relaxed through the upper body. And then breathing out as you bend your knees, curling your tailbone to the floor, drawing your abdominals in, and restacking your spine. So we'll do that together. Hands to the hips. Breathe in, lift the chest, neck long, belly in. Breathing out, bend your knees, hinging through your hips. Inhale, stretch your tailbone up and your head down. And exhaling, bend your knees, curl your tailbone to the floor, draw the low abdominals in. And again, hands to hips. Inhale, lift the chest, navel in, neck long. Exhale, bend your knees, hinging in the hips. Inhale, stretch your tailbone up, head releasing. Exhale, bend the knees, curling the tailbone to the floor, drawing the belly in. Last one, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the knees, hinging in your hips. Inhale, stretch your tailbone up, head down. And exhaling as you bend your knees and curl yourself back up. Okay, still keeping your feet wide, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. We'll breathe in as you stretch over to the right with both legs straight. And as you breathe out, bend both knees, sweep the arms down into a hug and hinge forward. Now in this position, I want you to have your spine in what we call the ramp spine. So it's on a long diagonal, the abdominals are pulled in, and the tailbone is a little bit curled towards the floor. The feet are spread out, the heels are firmly rooted. And then we'll go to the other side. So inhaling, both legs are straight, stretching over to the left. Sweep the arm down and hug, exhaling into the round spine. Go side to side. Breathe in, stretching over to the right, both legs straight. Breathing out, sweep down and hug. Okay, so we're getting in a stretch as you breathe in. And then we're getting in a squat as you breathe out.
And just continue. And if you do have the ability to see your alignment in the mirror and through your phone, you want to keep your knees pointing in the same line as your feet. Okay, so your knees are pointing in the same line as the second and the third toes, and they're not rolling in or out. Okay, last one, inhaling over to the side. Exhaling, we're just gonna add a bit of balance. So we'll step the feet together, breathe in as you stretch over to the side, and then step apart as you go back into your hug. Another side, step together, breathe in, and breathing out, stepping apart. And continue. So try to bring your legs right together, inner thighs right together, and then letting them come apart, anchoring through the ground. So feel the tailbone lengthen down towards the floor, the abdominals pull in, and exhaling down. We'll do one more of each. The arms really relaxed and swinging. Okay, so there's an easy quality through the shoulders. And then last one, breathing in and out. Good, and then come up to standing, bring the feet in hip width apart, possibly a little bit wider so it feels comfortable for your knees. And we're gonna do some more squats. And so we'll bend the knees and again go into that ramp spine where you have your tailbone a little bit towards the floor, the abdominals are in, the knees not going past the toes. So you wanna make sure your heels are firmly rooted to the floor, and you wanna make sure that your feet are pointing straight ahead and your knees are again in line with your second and your third toe. So noticing if they roll in or out. And then as you breathe out, we're gonna rise up to stand and lift the heels off the floor, rising up onto the tip toes. And it's really common here for the ankles to roll out. Okay, so you wanna keep your weight in towards the big toe, imagining that you have a ball at your ankles. And we'll just practice that. So we'll inhale as you bend your knees into the squat, and then exhaling as you rise up onto your toes. And just continue. Inhaling, this is really strong, but it's almost easier to just relax the spine when you're rising up, imagining that you have a string pulling up through the crown of your head. Inhaling down, so the body is just lengthening into alignment and there's not a lot of tension or force, because that usually backfires and makes the balance a lot harder. So as you breathe out and coming up to balance, relax the chest. Okay, relax the shoulders. Inhale, and instead, draw the navel in, spread out the feet. Okay, we'll do two more. You want the toes to have lots of space. Okay, so instead of clenching the floor, you do the opposite. You spread them out so that you have a really wide base of support. Okay, strengthening the ankles, strengthening the knees. Okay, so we're just gonna make a change. We're gonna inhale as you bend the knees, and then exhale as you lift one foot off the floor. We're gonna alternate sides. And so on this next one here, I'm gonna lift and hold. And I just wanna say, when you're lifting your leg up, you wanna keep your pelvis level. If you let your hips tip, for sure, you're gonna lose your balance and fall over, and it's also not good for your hips or your back. And so you wanna imagine that like you're a marionette, and there's a string on your knee, so just the leg is lifting. Okay, we'll go side to side now. Inhaling down, and just the knee is lifting, and the pelvis stays really level. Okay, so inhaling as you bend, and exhaling as you lift. And just continue. If you can imagine that each foot has 4 corners, okay, through the big toe mound, the baby toe mound, the inner heel, and the outer heel, and you're spreading out those 4 corners. So on your standing leg, the foot feels really wide, and then the leg muscles are pulling up so that they feel really solid. Okay, we'll just finish here. Okay, good. Okay, and then the last thing that we're gonna do is a lunge. So can you start off with your right foot forward and take a big step back with your left foot so that the back heel is lifted. Now point both hips forward, have all 10 toes pointing forward, and draw the abdominals in. And I want this lunge to be quite big if possible so that you can bend your front knee and your knee is not going past your toes. Okay? So front knee is bent. We're going to stretch the back leg, aiming the heel towards the floor. My heel's not touching the floor, and so don't worry if it's not. But aiming it down will give us the stretch through the calf. And then if you're pulling the abdominals in, you'll be getting a stretch through the hip as well. Okay? So your inner thighs are hugged in towards the center line, like there's a wall between the legs. Your knee is pointing straight ahead in line with your second and your third toes. And the spine is long. Okay, then from here, if you can bring your hands onto your tailbone and bend your back leg and feel that when you bend your back leg, your tailbone is now pointing straight to the floor. Before, when it was straight, it was a little bit tipped back. And now that it's bent, it's pointing straight down, and the abdominals can pull in even more. Okay, if that's hard on the knee, keep the leg straight and just hold that position. And then from either way, with your back leg straight or bent, we're gonna inhale as you push both legs to straight, and exhale as you either bend both legs or just your front one. Okay? Inhaling as they straighten, and exhaling as they bend. Okay? And so just again, making sure that your front knee is not going past your toes. Now, if you have knee issues, you might need to make this lunge really small in terms of not going down low, and that's fine. And then if your knees are strong and you want to deepen the lunge, then you're welcome to do that. Okay, so just one more time. And then we'll press the feet together at the top and switch over to the other side. Okay, so having both hips forward, all 10 toes pointing forward. Have quite a big distance so that again, as you bend your front leg, your knee is not going past your toes. Stretch your back heel away, so aiming the heel towards the floor. Pull the belly in, and just holding here, feeling a stretch through the hip, okay, through the front of your hip. Okay, and then staying here, and if you can bring your hands onto the tailbone, if possible, bending your back leg, aiming the tailbone down towards the floor now. Okay, if that's not hard on the knee, pulling the belly in even more. Breathing the whole time, really relaxing the chest and the shoulders. Okay, and then either with your back leg straight or bent, we're going to inhale as you're pressing both legs to straight, and exhaling, bending both or just the front. Inhaling, pushing up, and exhaling down. And you can have the lunge deep or shallow depending on your needs. Breathing in and out, really coordinating the breath with the movement. Okay, feeling, especially through the front foot, the four corners are spread out. The foot is relaxed. And just finishing this last one here, and then stepping your feet together. Good, and then just coming to standing at the front of your mat, arms down by your sides with the palms open. Good, standing tall with the eyes open or closed. And just feeling the breath. Now, from all of this movement that we've been doing, letting the breath really circulate through the body. And if you can have a sense of the chest being lifted, so the shoulders are rolling back, the shoulder blades are sliding down the back, the tailbone is going heavy down between your heels, the abdominals are naturally drawn in. You can imagine there's a string on the crown of your head pulling you up to the ceiling, so you're able to stay lengthened up as though you're hanging down from the string, so the body can relax. And just feeling the weight of the feet to the floor. And so just remembering this feeling through your posture, letting your eyes open if they're closed. Seeing if you can keep this strong, beautiful posture all day. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining me. Wishing you well. Take care.